Hey everyone! Today I want to talk to you all about how to keep things interesting and how to stay motivated in the late game. I want this video to be where I can tell you what I do, but also where you guys can tell me what you do. Now, if you're someone who catches my streams, which if you don't know, I stream on Saturdays at 12 p.m. MST, you'll know that I still very much struggle with staying motivated into the late game myself, but I've been able to keep trudging along with the things I'm going to share with you. So without further ado, let's just hop right into it. The first thing I do, and this is the most important one to me, is do not make your main safe house in the best spots. When I'm far into the late game, and I've been doing my routine for over 100 days, I start to get bored, itching for something to do other than lie around and do the same thing over and over. If you have your safe house in a place that's just the absolute best, you'll scarcely ever have any reason to go anywhere else, keeping you forever locked into that routine. Here's an example. Ever since the trader was added to the game, if you have trading enabled, then the Quonset Garage is the best safe house spot, hands down, if your interest is just hunkering down and surviving. There's a crap ton of resources in the region, the largest area to beachcomb, and it has a trading radio inside, with the trader only a couple minutes walk away. If you get in the habit of beachcombing, trading, hunting, repeat, you could literally survive forever without ever leaving the region. Unless you're on Interloper, but even then, if you head there later on once you've obtained more equipment, you'll still be very well off. Now, that might sound good in theory, but I find that the more repetitious the gameplay loop is, the quicker it starts to become a slog. If you were to make your safe house somewhere else, it would make you suddenly have to start planning for trading trips. You'd have to gather the resources, plan your route, and then depart on a couple days' journey to get the trip done. Doing that will give you a break from your regular routine and give you a new goal for a bit, causing new interactions and adventures to breathe new life in your survival experience throughout the late game. The next thing I recommend is to establish multiple safe houses. Doing this does a couple things. First of all, it'll simply give you more things to do. Similarly to what I mentioned before, you'll have to take a break from your typical routines to pick a new place to transfer some resources to, prepare your travel supplies, make the journey, and then set up the safe house. Secondly, once you have the extra safe houses established, you can move between them throughout the endgame to give yourself a change of scenery and a slight change of routine. For example, let's say your survivor has been living in the camp office for the past 200 days, and they are feeling very unmotivated. But they have a secondary safe house set up over in the Pleasant Valley farmhouse. So, they decide to pick up the most important things and move over to there for a while. By going there, they have new hunting grounds to explore, new resource locations to check, and a new place to decorate with safe house customization. Going to a different safe house for a bit is not going to completely change the way you play the game, obviously. But being in a fresh spot with new places to check will bring a nice little breath of fresh air into the gameplay loop, and, combined with the rest of the tips in this video, definitely help to keep you from burning out as quickly in the late game. Next, I want to talk about hibernation. For those of you who don't know, hibernation in the long dark is when you stock up on a lot of food and water, and you'll pass time sleep through dozens of days at a time. This is a tactic that can get you through a lot of days fairly quickly, and it's used a lot when shooting for the 500 or 1000 day achievements. The thing about hibernating is, in my experience, it's also the fastest way to stop enjoying the game, and I think it's pretty easy to understand why. Instead of playing the game, you're just clicking pastime, sleep, eat, drink, and that's it. Now, hibernating is very much necessary to quickly reach those high number of days survived, so my advice is that, if you're gonna hibernate, avoid doing it in massive chunks. By only hibernating for 10 to 15 days or so, then making an ammo, forge, trade run, or even moving safe houses, you'll mix in some time where you're actually playing the video game instead of sitting around. If you feel yourself getting unbelievably bored and ready to quit after 30 days of hibernating, stop. Find another adventure to embark on across Great Bear, and then continue hibernating once you're ready. The next tip we're going to go over also plays right into that, which is to put energy into the less essential tasks, such as decorating, collecting item variants, crafting just cause you can, or anything else you can think of. Once you've made it into the late game, you are likely very well off with your supplies, so you don't need to worry about being perfectly optimized for survival. Let yourself take a break from hibernation to make some new furniture, or craft a crap ton of fishing tip-ups for no reason. You've made it this far, you deserve a little bit of relaxation. But what if you don't have any supply runs to do that'll break up your hibernation? What if you've decorated everything, made 15 moose hide coats, and have a wall with 15 rifles on it? What if you can't think of anything else to do? Well, one thing I recommend strongly to help give you some new goals and objectives when you aren't sure what to do is achievement grind. Now, I know that not everybody is a completionist and wants to get all the achievements, but I'm not saying to become a perfectionist and go around getting every single achievement in the one save. What I'm saying is to pick an achievement that looks like it might be a fun task and go out and try and accomplish it. There are a lot of achievements that involve a lot of traveling across Great Bear and can help give you new things to do when you're sick of waiting around. Achievements like Faithful Cartographer and Thanks for the Memories require going to nearly every region of Great Bear. If you're hibernating for a bit but get bored, then take a break and go tackle the exploration of the northeastern regions, and then go back and hibernate some more. After you finish hibernating again, we'll then go tackle the southeastern regions. You could also pick an achievement like Too Greedily Too Deep, where you have to prepare to hunker down in one spot for 25 consecutive days. That's an achievement journey that has 25 days of hibernation baked into it already. If you're ever struggling to find things to do, just open up that achievements list and pick one to take on. It'll give you a lot of stuff to do. And there are some really fun ones in there. So with all that said, let's do a quick recap for what I recommend you to be doing to keep yourself engaged and motivated into the late game. First, don't make your primary safe house in the most optimal spot. Choose somewhere nice that has good routes to essential places so that you'll have more trips to take. Second, establish multiple safe houses. Having different places to go will mix things up, and the new scenery will breathe some fresh air into your routines. Third, avoid mass hibernation. Instead of hibernating for dozens or even hundreds of days at a time, hibernate in small chunks and go do other activities in between to avoid burning yourself out. Fourth, let yourself indulge in the smaller, less essential things. You don't need to be a perfect survivor all the time. And fifth, when you run out of ideas of things to do, pick some achievements to attempt. There are many that will require you to venture all across Great Bear and bestow you with new adventures no matter how far into the game you are. Alrighty then, that's all for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that these tips can help you guys find some new motivation even in your longest running saves. It's going to be a bit of a shorter, sweeter one. I might find out better things down the line, and if I do, then maybe I'll make another video about it. And in the spirit of that, if you guys have any tips that you would like to recommend to stay motivated into the late game, then drop them in the comments. I'm sure that everybody would love to read them, and I would too. You guys are all amazing, I love you all, and I will see you in the next one.